traveler.
I have no time for games.
The end is coming! Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
You require my assistance? Adingo! We're gonna be rich.
I have no time for games.
Inferno! You require my assistance? Who am I?
Let me change your mind.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hearthcenter. My name is Dr. Fish. I will be your op for this evening, filling in for Mr. Dr. Lotus Knight. We have a wonderful cast and crew with us this evening. So I will start in my top left, returning once again. I believe I don't know who's been on the most Hearthcenters, but I think he's in contention this season. We have Super Chicken.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I have been on the most Hearthcenters. I mean, definitely in the last 2 seasons, and probably this season. But yeah,
You've been in a
lots
lot.
of fun.
Yeah, I'm always happy to have all of these guys on. And then and below Chicken in the bottom left, we have the person of many beans and many profile pictures. We have Geranium Battle.
Thank you. I think I have been in the same number of of Hearthcenter's is chicken this season.
This is surely fake news.
I don't know. Everyone would have to go back and like watch the first 5 minutes to see of every Hearthcenter this season, and I have no clue.
I mean, we were both in every single one except for we both missed the same one.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, that would make sense. All right, well there you go. Tied for the most this season.
And Max has been here the whole time. Oops. And I didn't even notice.
Wow. Harsh.
Okay, I guess you won't see me next season.
All right, and now moving on to the top right, we have Nice Jewish Owl, who has so kindly filled in again this week.
Hello. Happy to be on.
Awesome. I'm happy to have you on as well. And below Mr. Owl, in the bottom right corner, we have Mr. Bing Bong Ka-chow himself. We have Neji Boston.
That is me. True. What's up?
Not much. I'm chilling. I am feeling quite a bit better than I was not too long ago, and that is a good thing.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah. All right. So first things first, as we do every week, let us give some kudos and hand out some Player of the Week awards. We're gonna start in Hero Series. So, let's see. I will have Nice Jewish Owl read off our Hero Player of the Week.
Yeah, so for Hero Player of the Week, we have Skirt Reynolds. After a difficult regular season, Skirt Reynolds showed up in playoffs for his team, taking down a very strong opponent who is nearly 200 PR higher. This victory helped the squad seal the week and continue onward in the quest for a championship.
All right. Well, thank you for reading that, and thank you, Corridon, for the write-up. All right, so let's move into our Legacy Player of the Week. Geranium, the person who does the Legacy write-ups, would you please tell me, or please read off your Legacy Player of the Week write-up for the week?
Of course. For Legacy, we have Classy Thug. Comes as no surprise to most of you. For all you Rebobsons watching out there, want to know how to crack the code and get put in Player of the Week? All you have to do is defeat one of the last 2 undefeated players in THL, win the week for your team in the final moments, completely change the result for Crossover Champion, and rocket your team up to one of the higher buy spots for playoffs. If that seems hard, maybe you just aren't living the thug life. And thank you for writing that, Geranium Battle.
All right, well, thank you. Obviously, thanks for the write-up, and congratulations to Classy Thug. We have one more Player of the Week, as our Pro NA Player of the Week has concluded for the season. We have our Pro EU Player of the Week. Neji, would you please go ahead and read the write-up?
All right. Our Pro EU Player of the Week is Peliuha, and we have, after 9 weeks of play, Donkey Hot has secured the 1 seed going into playoffs by a narrow 3 points. Peliuha held down the 1 seed for the time, making sure his team took that top spot. Last week, he contributed a clean sweep to end the regular season and also secure himself Player of the Week. Congratulations and good luck in the playoffs, from Based Inc.
All right. Well, congratulations to these 3 players for getting Player of the Week, and thank you to the write-up staff. And so, without further ado, we have some playoffs to talk about. We can start in Hero Series. I'll go ahead, and I guess we can start by bringing up the playoff bracket. Well, I don't think, Geranium, are you going to be able to see it, or should I go over it quickly myself?
I have it up for myself in a different place.
All right, cool.
I also may or may not have it memorized because I'm
in
it. But there are 4 teams left in the THL Hero playoffs. In the top bracket, there is Extraterrestrials versus At Least I Don't Have Chicken, both coming in from the Teal Conference. And then in the bottom bracket, which were both teams from the Purple Conference initially, we have Awake Past Midnight versus F2L Obsidian, the last APM team and the last F2L team.
Yeah. So there we go. Those are our remaining teams, and let's look at the week that was to see how we got there. Right. I will start with the highest seeded team from last week's match, which is F2L Black versus At Least I Don't Have Chicken. Neji, you were a part of this match, so please tell me how this match went down.
All right. At least I don't have chicken. Took down F2L Black 13-9. It was a very close match. It was really weird as well because the nerfs just hit and we all had to play and submit that same day. So nobody really knew what was good, especially me and Rebob, because we played our match 3 hours after the nerfs. So there was not much prep going on. Well, I guess there was a lot of prep going on, but we didn't really know anything. So, I brought some sus classes, but it worked out in my favor. I won 3-2. Justin won 3-2 over Itachi. Hat took it 3-1 over C-Mac, and Skirt won 3-1 over Jespin, which means we didn't have to play the last match of the week and secured it after 4 matches.
Yeah. Right. Does anyone want to give some thoughts on this match?
I mean, you say that you brought sus classes, but the classes that you guys didn't have in common, you brought Mage Shaman, which are maybe the top 2 classes right now, and then Rebob brought Hunter Paladin, which are maybe the 4th and maybe 7th best classes right now.
So maybe I had the nutty read 3 hours in.
Maybe.
And certainly you didn't bring, something like Naga Mage or
No way.
Okay, yeah.
Never.
Why would I do that? I just got nerfed. That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Also, look at this guy. From what, 1-9 to 8-1?
I did flip my record from last season.
You have flipped your record from the season so far, and we're looking to see it next week again.
True.
All right. Actually, I didn't. Oh no, I did change it. Nice. All right. I just need to quickly swap matches. All right, Owl. My teammate. Let the audience know about F2L Obsidian versus Barnes.
Yeah, so luckily both of the F2L teams didn't lose this week, but this was, I guess, not quite as close as the previous match because we took it down 4-0 with the last match being a no contest. And I know Nails and I also played roughly 2 or 3 hours after the patch, so we were rushing to submit once we saw the nerfs. And I do remember after the match talking a little bit with Nails about how we both sort of wished we could just bring Naga Priest 4 times because none of the other decks felt as good. But I did manage to take it down there by beating Naga Priest and then winning a bunch with Naga Priest, as one does. I believe the next match to happen was Scrub Slayer versus Astral Frog, which was a close 3-2. And then Aquaman in the 1 seed brought that mage, and I believe almost swept with Big Spell Mage, and then ended up losing game 3 and taking it back in game 5 for a 3-2. And at that point, we needed 1 more point to finish out the week, and Dr. Fish delivered in the 5 seed.
Yeah, that was It was the match literally hinged on one class, on one of my classes just being able to get a win. Because I had a very sketchy amount of matchups based on what my opponent brought, but I got it done. Thank you, Shaman. You are a good class.
Yeah, unlike me, you didn't bring 2 quest decks to your match, so
No, I did not bring quest decks to my match. But yeah. I guess I'll ask Chicken because he hasn't spoken about the other matches. If you have anything to add to this, or if
Yeah, I think I remember last week a lot of people picked. I picked Barnes to win this week, and I definitely underestimated F12 Obsidian because I did kind of forget about their like insane win streak that they've had so far. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy this week. Seeing it's F12 Obsidian versus 8 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aqua versus Shep in the 1. That's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm 2 of the better THL players across the entire league, in my opinion. I think that's gonna really be a match to watch. So, yeah, it's tough. I mean, this Obsidian team really hasn't showed any signs of slowing down, but might have a little bit of trouble against APM. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah. Our first meeting did not go very well against their team.
Before moving on, I
Yeah.
do want to mention that this is the Sharkbait was an emergency sub essentially, and for Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know how much it contributed to Barnes losing this week, but it is sort of like an unfortunate thing that sometimes can happen, and it's not.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to blame anyone. I'm just saying.
Oh
like,
no.
These things do happen.
Yeah.
And a team having to recover after losing their star 5 seed is hard.
Yeah, I think at that point it probably wouldn't have mattered that much just because I needed 1 point. So if I had lost 3-1, it still would have been a weak win. But I don't know. You're right. Maybe Roadrunner's able to sweep me, and BombD and BOMD and Seth have to play. Who knows? But yeah, no, Sharkbait was a great opponent. It was a very close series in general. Right. So that is all we have for Legacy this week. We'll be back next week with going over this week and looking at the finals. Meanwhile, let's move out of playoffs here for a little bit as we move into our Legacy series recaps. We had the final week of playoffs, and yeah, it's definitely an interesting final week. We had some big shakeups here in some regards. So the first match that we have is Hot Zilfs versus the Pod People. So Geranium, why don't you run me through what happened in this match?
Yeah, I mean, so this was one of the very exciting matches in the final week here because Hot Zilfs and Pod People started essentially tied right on the bubble of the Gold Conference. So this was a play-in to get into playoffs, and well, I mean, we can see the result. Hot Zilfs made it smash their way into playoffs by taking an 18-9, 4-1 match record victory over Pod People, with Coles taking the only loss for their team in the 1 versus Ridiculous Hat, Astrofrog sweeping Starlax, Donde 3-1 over Wicked Good, Chronic 3-2 over Dragon Rider, and Lefty 2-1-1-1 taking a Game 5 win over Swaybay in the 5.
Big week for the Zilfs. We'll go over standings at the end, but them getting that helped them a lot because the next match that we have on the docket shows just how important it is to get all your points. But I guess before we move then to there, does anyone have any comments on this before we go to the second match? Okay. We'll move on to our second match. Chicken, tell me about Blue Naga Cult versus Fish Eternum.
Yeah, this was kind of par for the course for Blue Naga Cult.
Yeah.
One of their, I'm sure this is not the first 23-point week they've had so far this season. Is that subbing in for the second week in a row for Lotus Knight, who is still away. Although, is he? When does Lotus get back? I have no idea.
Lotus is back after next week. So next week will be my last show as the op for the season, and then Lotus will be back.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So with the bye, he comes back.
He comes
for the
back
first week that Nashville has to play in playoffs.
Yeah, he comes back for their first playoff week.
All right. Well,
I guess I don't know.
It was just big wins for everyone on Blue Naga Cult.
Yeah.
I mean, looking like they're still in great form going into playoffs, playing against one of the stronger teams in their conference and kind of just taking it to them. Even like a player like Laughing Frog, she has a pretty decent PR advantage over Righteous Jammies, and also she's been having a pretty great season in general. Even still, seems like Blue Naga Cult's really just hitting their stride. I mean, it's crazy to say they're hitting their stride now because like they've been doing so well the whole season, but it seems like they've almost found another gear that they're hitting.
Yeah, and I think in particular this week they were trying to get the number one seed going into the playoffs. It was very close.
I feel like it. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't that close. Like they got 23 points and they were 20 points ahead, so they needed like 3 points.
No, I meant the overall one seed.
Oh, okay.
Like the
did
most
they
points.
First?
No, they didn't. But they got very close.
Right. I guess not to spoil too much, but yeah, they did. They were quite close. I remember how close it was now. Yeah.
But yeah, they were comfortably first place in gold. So yeah, I guess speaking of standings, Neji, you want to read off the final Gold Conference standings for the season?
Yeah, we have Blue Naga Cult at the top with 170 points. Afterwell White at 150. Hot Zilfs at 143. Fish Eternum 137. Pod People 126. Colossal Misplays 122. Hoot Me Dude 112. And Destubs at 99.
Yeah. The Zilfs. What I was mentioning was you need every point was Zilfs not only able to get in playoffs, but they hopped over Fish Eternum, which puts them in better standings for matchup potential going into the first week of playoffs. So yeah, big in F12 White was probably sweating a bit as the week was going on. I don't know when they locked the second place spot, but they could have been overtaken with a bad week. So yeah, every point coming into matter for some of these spots. But that is Gold Conference. We have lots of exciting things coming out of the top teams here, and let's go from here into Red Conference. So for Red Conference, I'll start with the standings this time because I didn't do that last time. Owl, would you kindly tell me the final standings for Red Conference after the regular season?
Sure thing, yeah. Finishing in first place in Red Conference, we have Season 21 Team Hearth League Legacy Series team with 160 points. Following them is APM at 146, followed closely by Defias at 144. Team Justin coming in fourth place with 135 points, followed by HSA, The Coolest, Not Justin, and the Legacy 3 seeds. Yeah, definitely a pretty dominant showing by S21 Legacy Series team, and I think a fairly expected showing by the Legacy 3 seed team this season.
Hey, whoa.
Dang.
We had a 3 seed and our 1 seed. Oh.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I hope your team had fun this season, because I feel like that was more the purpose of the team, was to have a little fun. Yeah. Congrats to season 21 EHL team, the Chickens team, getting that bye week. And good season from teams that we've come to expect to have good seasons. The playoff teams are all iterations of teams we've seen make playoffs before. So just nailing the work down, and we can start off here with Defias versus season 21 THL Legacy team. Yeah, I recently called him Niji, but I guess I also have him written down here to talk about this match. So you would kindly tell me how this went down.
We had Defias winning 14-9 over season 21 Team Hearth Legends. Well, Team Hearth League, but Legacy Series team. And for the matches, we had Super Chicken win 3-1 over Wild 9. We had Classy Thug 3-1 over German Shep, which was a big upset, changing German Shep from the top seed in crossover down to number 2, and also ending the undefeated season, as we stated in our Player of the Week. We had Pasca subbing in 3-1 over Nebkanuk, the Real Lure 3-0 over Thalfix, and in the 5 seed looks like a DQ or no contest. Well, not no contest because it's 3-0.
Yeah, it's a DQ or a sweep without ban, or a sweep without bans getting.
I guess we can ask Chicken about that one.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pick a. I
Copium.
didn't mean to pick a match with a DQ. Or whatever.
It was not a DQ.
Oh, it wasn't.
It was not a DQ, but I think Kitten realized that he had maybe overlapped his Father's Day plans with his match time.
Oh.
So, and I was also like, I played first this week, so to give a little context, we needed like 1 point for the bye, and that's kind of all we cared about this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I won my match, and then I was like, and then like we were basically just like, okay, we can mess around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Dalfix brought some really terrible decks, I think, and just got swept very quickly. Pasca, Gamer Dude lost power in his house for like 40 hours or something.
Oh no. When
so I had to get an e-sub on either Friday or Saturday, I don't remember. But anyway, Pasca was kind enough to sub in and was able to, play at the same time. So it worked out, and yeah, he played great and got the win. And Kitten, yeah, I think he had overlapping plans, so I think he just conceded his games very quickly or something like that, and didn't even.
Oh, okay. So the match was played. Okay.
Yeah.
And Azuma just didn't submit bans.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, good. I didn't pick a match with DQs. I mean, it's understandable. Like I've had a match where like someone needed to get like someone couldn't lose a point, and they didn't, and so like they didn't like they weren't able to like hold off the opponent, and they're just like whatever. Like they just essentially just decided that it didn't matter whether they got swept or whether they lost, 3 to whatever, or even if they won. But anyways. Obviously, again, still congrats on getting the bye week, and let us look now at our second match. Another close one that we're gonna look at here. Coming out of Hearthstone Academy versus Fort Justin's one Sustin. Chicken. Why don't you tell me about this one?
Yeah, pretty close match. The Justins were really looking to secure as many points as they could because they were right on the fringe of making playoffs. And I think if HSA had really, I mean, HSA could have made playoffs over them had this score been a little bit different. Yeah, had like they limited a lot of, or like limited some of those points from Justin's and then gotten a few more themselves, they could have jumped ahead of the Justins in the playoffs. So there definitely some pretty serious playoff implications for that last spot in Red Conference. And yeah, the Justins did lose the week, but got enough points to get them kind of over the hump. With Wild Rose and Skirt getting wins in the 1 and 5, and the other three teammates losing, but still picking up 2 points each, which was quite important for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally the most points you can get
In a loss.
out of a THL matchup.
Yeah. Yep, that's 30 points.
Both sides.
For sure. All right. Any thoughts on this match before we move into Silver Conference? All right, let's go. So to start off for Silver Conference, let's see. Geranium. I'll start with the matches and then we'll do the standings last because it just makes that way the same people who have been talking don't have to keep talking. So Geranium. Our first match, we have Dad Legend versus Dumbledore's Army. Let's tell me what happened here.
Well, you know we love to feature these kinds of matches.
Yeah,
here.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, when you see a tie, you pick a tie. And Dad Legend versus Dumbledore's Army was a perfect tie here. 12-12. With Desharmo getting swept by Rice Bowl, Isaac taking a 3-2 Game 5 match over Plants. King Viking 23, 3-1ing Superhero. Yellow Dart with a 3-1 over Bartimus. And then Cat Bat taking the sweep right back over Hastur. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really affect playoffs all that much. Dead Legend seemed to be near the top of their conference, but it did end up creating the three-way tie that we'll get into once we actually get into sort of the standings here.
Yeah, there's them not getting a lot of points, not separating, created a scenario. But not only them getting a tie this week, but also our second match coming into play. And so, Owl, why don't you tell me about our second match?
This is the second match in Silver
In
Conference,
Silver
right?
Conference, yeah. I'm switching the people around because we've had a lot of talking.
Standard THL Degenerates up against Serenite Pain Gang. And this was another big point match for standard THL Degenerates. It was another big point match with all sweeps and 3-1s happening. You know, Dr. Bomb D took down a 3-1 over your Mumket in the 1 seed. Electric Sheep City and Memnarch both took sweeps in the 2 and 3 seed over I don't know how this name is supposed to be pronounced because it's not Blood Rose. That's a capital I. It's like Biode Rose.
Oh, it's supposed to be Blood Road. Blood Rose are just...
It's a capital I.
I know it's a capital I.
Memnarch over Pescatarian. Vampire Nighthawk losing 1-3 to Darkside, who looks like came in as a sub. And then Saku taking his 3-1 victory in the 5 seed over Eternal.
Right. So yeah, this match was part of the creation of a very interesting scenario that we had.
Before heading off from this match, I mean, Darkside ending his THL career with a win over Vampire Nighthawk is pretty crazy.
Pretty
He's
good.
got some great wins over his career.
Yeah.
Honestly, too many to list right now.
For sure. And so before we close out Legacy, let's take a look at the playoffs that we have. So Uranium so kindly made us this graphic. So looking at it, we have our matchups. So we have 5 versus 12, 6 versus 11, 7 versus 10, and 8 versus 9. So I believe this is where some of this stuff is relating with some tie factors with points. But so our 5 versus 12 is APM versus 4 Justins, 1 Sustin. Our and then from there, this is kind of where the ties come in. We have our 7th seed Hot Zilfs against 10th seeded Dad Legend. We have 6th seeded Defias versus Standard THL Degenerates as our 11th seed. Then we have Illidan's Death Knights versus Fish Tournament as our 8 versus 9 match. Yeah, and then this will get reseeded, like based on the winners this week. It'll get reseeded by to see who plays who. With as we saw, Kachow. We didn't even go over silver standings, but Kachow Clowns is in first place. And then everything kind of fell down from there in the conference. My apologies for not going over standings, but yeah.
To make this the most clear it possibly can be, if 4 Justins, 1 Sustin wins over APM, they are guaranteed to face Chow Clowns, no matter how much they win by, no matter what placement they are amongst the players after they would win. And if APM wins over 4 Justins, 1 Sustin, they are guaranteed to face F2L White.
Yes. That is facts. And then from there, it's, you can see it. Season 21 THL Legacy Series team plays against, they can play against like Defias, Sylphs, like whoever has the next highest seeding, and so on and so forth. So yeah. Oh, that would be APM versus F2L would be a week after APM versus F2L would be great. In Hero, that is.
I hadn't seen the Fishaturnium logo.
The Fishaturnium logo?
Right now.
It's a great logo.
Awesome.
It's a good logo.
So
it's a great logo. Yeah. I can get behind that as a logo.
That's money.
I still personally am a fan of our Hoot Me Dude logo.
Yeah, all of Milo's logos are instant classics.
Yeah.
For sure.
we've got Brute with just Milo's face in the head.
Who could forget the Carlton Super Chickens?
I have not seen that. You'll have to let me see that. And
that was
it's Jay Huang.
Banger.
Yeah, and it's Jay Huang approved as well. But yeah, that is the bracket for Legacy playoffs, and next we go into Pro. So Pro is now entering finals. I'll just pull up the Pro conference because it will have the pictures from last week, and then we'll go over the bracket at the end. So we've got 2 matches, and I'm gonna pretty much call on the same 2 people who talked about the hero matches because, well, their teams also had to do with this. Neji, I have it incorrectly ordered in the notes, but we're gonna start with Neji and Bing Bong Big Top versus XD.
All right. Bing Bong Big Top took it 13-6 over XD. The week started off with Justin and Pace. I think it was played on the Monday, maybe Tuesday, but very, very early. I believe it was 2-1 Pace, and then Justin queued his rogue deck and did not declare Maestra, so he lost the series, unfortunately. So we were down at the start of the week, which was not a great start, but we bounced back with, I think it was Nails. Yeah, Nails was second, won 3-2 over Just Concede. Then I beat Jespin 3-0, and then Kobe won the week 3-0 over Maxi.
Yeah. So big congrats to Bing Bong Big Top, who says 4-seeded teams out of a conference can't make the finals. Not me. going through the 2 of the top teams out of at a black conference to get there. Yeah, anyone have thoughts on the match?
I mean, talking about four-seeded teams making finals, that's exactly what No Pros here did the last time the Clowns in this call won. So
Yeah.
Big Bog, Big Top, looking to make finals and lose whatever four seeds do in finals.
Win.
Oh well.
I mean,
Maybe.
this is probably one of the. I mean, I wouldn't really call this team a 4 seed. I would call them a team that did a little trolling in the regular season.
I agree.
What?
No.
What are you talking about, chicken?
I agree. I just want to
We're a
call
4-seed team.
Yeah,
Look at the
sure.
standings.
Yeah, for sure.
No, for sure. You're
standings.
seeding. Yeah.
I mean, standings don't lie. Like,
yeah.
what?
Standings don't lie, but looking at the players on your team also doesn't lie.
Wait, everyone knows that Justin doesn't do anything until playoffs, and then actually tries, and then still loses 1-3. But he helped his team for sure.
Got a point.
He helped by writing in everyone's channel during the match, "Don't forget to declare Maestro." It was actually quite helpful.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if I should say this, but I strategically did not queue my Rogue in my match until the end, hoping Jespin would queue Rogue and forget to declare Maestro so I could get a free win back on them. And I queued Rogue last, but he did remember, so there you go.
As long as both of you remembered, if you brought Maestra at least. But yeah, and everyone did bring Thief Rogue, so anyways.
Certainly nobody in pro semifinals would forget to declare Maestra during one of the most important games of the series.
This
No shot.
This would never happen.
Oh my god. All this to set up our second match. I will give Owl the honors of reading the results because his team won the match, which we have Rope and Coat versus For the Boys.
Yeah, Rope and Cope taking a 3-1 victory over For the Boys because the last match wasn't played. It was a no contest. But I would say overall it was a very, very close week. Diamond and I talked a bit before about how we thought it was going to be a really good week because a lot of these were very interesting matchups. Starting with Dankus Dad versus German Shep in the 1 seed. Dankus Dad proving himself to be, and I will say it right now, the best player in THL Pro, as he is the only currently undefeated player still in the running. He is not 9-0 because he had to sub out 1 week, but he would be 9-0 if he didn't sub out, putting him above McVanterface. And then taking that 3-2 win over German Shep on stream. We sort of theory crafted this lineup to have a decent edge against Fell Demon Hunter. And German Shep ended up bringing Fell Demon Hunter, and I believe immediately beat Control Warrior with it. And that was certainly a little bit of an issue, but luckily he brought Bomb Rogue, and Armor Warrior beats Bomb Rogue. So Dankestad managed to get that 3-2 win. Then in the 2 seed, No Way H against Super Chicken. No Way posted his decks. We said these look clean, ship them. And he game 5, he may have forgotten to declare Maestra, but luckily for us, Super Chicken was a homie and let it play out anyways. And No Age did manage to get a reverse sweep on Demon Hunter, if I remember correctly. And then the 3 seed, Ariana 20, no contested, although I'm positive that Naga Mage and Charge Warrior with Nelly definitely would have been able to get wins against Dabs if there hadn't been a no contest. But, match didn't get played. The 4 seed, I took a sweep win over Fudov with Big Spell Mage and Quest Rogue. And then in the 5 seed, Rekvam took a sweep over Copa because we expected Rekvam to bring Boar Priest because he wrote a guide on it, and then he didn't bring Boar Priest. And the lineup that beats Boar Priest doesn't beat much else.
Yeah.
Super Chicken, do you have any thoughts from the other side?
Yeah, I did feel. I feel like the prep from our side. We had a fairly good idea of what like a lot of the people were gonna bring, except for Ariana 20. We did not expect the rollover. Like
No,
we
that wasn't a
realized.
rollover.
It wasn't a rollover. Those lists were submitted.
Those lists were
Oh,
submitted.
right. The not a rollover, but should never
A
have seen
meta
the light of day
rollover.
lineup. We did not. We definitely did not expect that. So that definitely threw us off a little bit. Yeah, I think like I definitely, at least from my prep, I definitely knew Noe was gonna bring like kind of Tempo King board decks like Naga Priest and Thief Rogue. And I kind of tried to plan for that accordingly. But I feel like I should have gone like even more all in and like tried to hard counter it a little bit harder. So definitely have a little bit of regret there. But I think overall, yeah, I think Rope and Cope definitely. I don't know. They definitely like. They probably just brought better overall decks. I think Milo bringing the Amulet Mage like so early into the patch was a pretty good was a pretty great idea. Like obviously it's all over ladder now, but back like on Thursday it was like barely being played at all. So I think that was pretty cool. I mean, I think it was pretty cool seeing that so early into the patch. And yeah, Big Beast Hunter did not do very well in general. And yeah, actually, did Shep got a win with it, didn't he? I think it was just his. He did get a win with it, but
Yeah.
just the Bomb Rogue that was not able to get through. Oh yeah, also Bomb Rogue sucks.
Bomb Rogue does indeed.
I
think
does lose to Control Warrior specifically. Yeah.
I guess I believe the only rogue deck here that didn't lose any games was Quest Rogue. So we all know what the meta breaker is.
Quest Rogue is nutty.
This is so true.
Oh my god.
That's a good point. I'm gonna tell my players to bring that to finals this week. Thank you for the insight. You won't be able to counter it because it's so good too.
That was a fun little thing that happened in a couple servers. Guys, Quest Rogue is nutty. But anyways,
I'll keep saying it. Quest Rogue is nutty.
Yeah. No, it's it showed up well this week for you, and I don't know if anyone else, I don't think anyone else brought it, but maybe someone did in another match and I don't know.
I think I am the only as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person to bring Quest Rogue to THL this season.
No, I brought it once.
Oh.
Yeah. And I won with it. And
I assume I told you to bring it.
Yes. Well,
okay.
Yeah, it was the second week after the null buff.
I count as Milo bringing it, I think.
I also was planning. I was like, I think I'm just gonna plan to bring this because with the buff, it can't be that bad, right? And it did fine. But yeah, we've got.
I think I brought it in Legacy once, but with how bad my team was, it doesn't count.
Oh,
yeah.
Also, I missed the 3. Shep and I missed the 3-peat, which is kind of sad.
Oh yeah.
I don't think a team's ever 3-peated before in pro. So we were hoping to do that, but unfortunately not. We do still have 3 championships, but
Did you homie let the Thief Rogue through with the knowledge that if you lost that game you would lose the entire week?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I was like, I've been critical of like the rule in the past, so I felt like, I don't know. It would feel pretty hypocritical, at least from my point of view, to like be taking a win for a rule that like didn't really affect the game at all, obviously, because it was game 5, and then also that I think is just a really bad rule that should never have been put in place in the first place.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel that.
so
Didn't stop pace, but you know.
Did not.
Regardless, yeah, we have a couple more things to go over, but first, let's take a small break to cool off and hear a little bit more about what THL has, or what, yeah, to tell a little more about THL and various things going on. So Geranium, let's go ahead and do a commercial break.
Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of our operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our memes and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Slime or Twitch Slime, you can sub to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep notifications bing bong to make sure you catch our team broadcast bing live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media ad points of interest. The website is at teamhearthleague.com. Ka-chow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us on Discord at Team Hearth League. And the true Hearth legend himself, Saku, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to catch everything previously recorded. You, of course, watch Bing on us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL Kachoutics out there are THL shows every single inch most days of the week. You can't go bong, tune Bing, and at any time for some banger Hearthstone-related content. Cut now to back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Amazing.
Excellent as always.
Amazing.
Just keeps getting better and better.
It gets better and better every week. And we love to see it. We love to hear it. We love to see it. All right. So we have one more series to go over, and that is our EU Pro Series, which has just finished up its final week competition. So let me get down to scroll and see who is doing what, because golly, I don't remember anything. All right. So we can start with the standings. Owl, please. I need to update the standings in here, but
yeah, the standings right now. Donkey Hot is in first place, currently with 139 points, but that includes 4 points from the current week. In second place is League of Nations at 132. In third place, Pan and Kooks at 119. In fourth place, 1 point below, Pertinax with 118. Followed by F2L Violet at 114. Team Enigma at 109. Flowins Esports at 100. Undivided at 99. And the Underdogs at 68.
man, I wish they got one more point.
Factos.
Would have been a nice ending to the season.
They would have been the real winners.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we have 2 matches to go over for the week. So Super Chicken, why don't you start by going over the first match, Pertinax versus Pan and Cooks. I still don't know how to say this that second one properly.
Yeah, we had 2 of the playoff teams playing each other in the last week. Both were really looking for a lot of points, and both cured a decent amount. Panda Cooks losing the week, but still getting 12 points. Lasagna and Foodov getting wins for them there. So both of them get enough points to make it into playoffs. And yeah, and now the rewards are they get to play League of Nations and Donkey Hot. So have fun with that. Which seems a little bit tough, but I mean, Panda Cooks have been on a bit of a tear in the last couple weeks of the season, really moving up the standings a lot. Actually, they definitely started out pretty low at this earlier on in the season and have just just barely squeaked their way into a playoff spot, even despite losing this last week. Um, and yeah, I think both of these teams here have a. I don't know. For me, all of the top four teams in EU Pro have a pretty good shot of winning. There's some pretty strong players on all the teams. Um, at least like the main players, at least that stand out to me in this match are Lasagna and Fudov. At least those are the ones I know the most. Lasagna, obviously, um, a really successful player in both Wild and Standard. Just hit like rank 2 legend with Big Spell Mage, actually. Like just today, I think. So yeah, he's playing really well. I mean, Fudov was on my pro team this season, and he did great for us. So I think the Pan Cooks have a really good shot of winning it, and then also Pertinax do as well, despite most or how do most of their players have a losing record and they're in a playoff spot? I don't know how that works, but I guess they just end up picking up a lot of points even when they lose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
I think one of their players is 4-5 because they already lost this week.
Right.
But so I think they were 6-2, 3-5, 4-4, 3-5, 4-4. So yeah, I mean there is a decent amount of people with losing records, which means that they were getting a decent chunk of points, regardless in those losses.
I mean, the interesting thing with Pertinax is I believe after 4 weeks they were 0-4 for team wins. So yeah, they really turned it up, and it was all against like the top of top teams. Like like back to back they beat F12 Violet, League of Nations, and then Pan and Cooks here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and F12 Violet was in a playoff spot for like the vast majority of the season and just fell out in the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So a bit of a tough spot for them. But yeah, it seems like there's some pretty hungry teams out there looking for that first EU Pro Championship.
For sure. And we do have one more match to talk about. So coming into this week, League of Nations was pretty far and away or maybe not far and away, but they had a decent sized lead on Donkey Hot coming into the week for first place. And they ended up in second place, and it's because of this particular match. Geranium, why don't you tell me about League of Nations versus Team Enigma?
Yeah, League of Nations was the only team locked in the playoffs at the start of this week, but that may have turned off the gas a little bit, but certainly it didn't turn off the gas for Team Enigma, who took a huge 17-10 win over them, with Gay Pirate, Game 5 win over Gaboom, who used to be undefeated just 2 weeks ago. Halo with a Game 5 win over Izzat, who also was just about undefeated 2 weeks ago. With Mighty taking a 3-1 win over Streetya, Element taking a 3-0 sweep over Deads, and then Den losing Game 5 to the Tank 77. And with that, Team Enigma moves to the best record in EU Pro, which grabs them sixth place outside of playoffs.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Yeah, they're 6-2.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It was some very like specific, I think, circumstances brought them to this point. But yeah, I mean, great team showing to get a 6-2 record. So if there's another season, I'm sure we'll see them again.
Yeah, just like that old APM saying, all points matter. Even if you
True.
win the week. Yeah, even if you win the week, it's always good to win it by just a little bit more. Or if you lose the week, always good to pick up as many points as you can, because you can you can go 6-2 and somehow not be in a playoff spot with the best record in the league.
Yeah. I think in Wild, our team went 5-4, but our losses. But you looked, and the reason we were so low on the rankings, I think we were second or third to last, was because the team losses were awful. Like I think like a couple of the losses were, like 4 or 6 points, 6 points, 4 point, like not a lot of points coming out in some of the losses. But so yeah, even like Fudov was saying, they won 20-4 in points against that team. So yeah, I think give them another season and they'll definitely have a chance. But yeah. So just gonna quickly move on to showing the playoff bracket. So we have Donkey Hot versus Pertinax, and then we have League of Nations versus the Pan and Cooks. So next week we will know who the people are competing for finals. And so far Donkey Hot does have a lead over Pertinax. And I don't believe any matches have been played out of League of Nations and Pan and Cooks yet. So we'll have that for you next week.
We could do a couple of predictions.
Yeah, let's say yeah. You guys can predict it.
Kind of forgot to do that earlier, but it's okay. I think I'm gonna. Man, it is tough to pick between. It's a League of Nations versus Pan and Cooks, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like it's tough to pick between the two teams because there's people that I really like on both teams, like really big fan of Izzat and Mighty. They're great to practice with and talk to and stuff. And then on the other side, Fudov has been such a great teammate this year. But I think I'm gonna have to pick the Pan and Cooks. They've been really doing well lately. And yeah, I think they're gonna make the finals. And on the other side, I'm gonna pick the other underdog team in Pertinax.
Nice. Right. Neji, what do you think?
I think the top teams are going to win Donkey Hot and League of Nations in the finals.
And Mr. Owl?
I mean, it sounds kind of boring, but I think I'm going to go with Neji. Donkey Hot has Donkey, who's clearly just reading everyone's deck list submissions because we use his website. And then League of Nations is a diamond team, so I have to root for them.
All right, and finally, Geranium Battle.
Yeah, I think this week Pertinax will use Yay tiers, and so that means they'll have the edge over Donkey's team. And even though they've already lost one match, they've been playing so hot recently. Mine is hot. And then finally, on the other side, I do think League of Nations will be the other side of the finals, where, Pertinax beat them in the main season. So.
Sorry, Donkey. We didn't mean to reveal all the secrets. But yeah, that's our EU Pro playoff preview. Tune in next week to see who makes finals, and from here we have 2 things left. We have PPR left for 2 series, so we'll start in EU Pro since we have some of the EU Pro players here. So always great to see everyone showing up. See, I did not assign these. God, I'm so bad. So let's see. Let me go up. I'll take, if I can do EU. I can do the EU one, and then
Oh wait, oh darn it! I just realized we forgot to do Legacy.
No, we're doing Legacy.
PPR.
We're doing Legacy
Oh,
after
no.
this.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
we are. Don't worry. Yeah. So I will. So if anyone specifically wants to read Legacy, I can DM you I'll DM it to you. Otherwise, yeah. So I will go.
DM me. DM me.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so there's Legacy PPR. So for EU Pro, we're gonna start. I'll start with the HMs, honorable mention. So we start with Max VDP with a 4-3 record. Followed up by Grinkpuff. I'm not 100% sure how to say that. I hope I said that as accurately as I could, with a 3-4 record. We have CISO HS with a 4-3 record. And then HM we have Lasagna with a 5-2 record, followed by Chewy, who has dropped a little bit this week, and having a 5-3 record. That doesn't. That makes sense. Some of the players who didn't play all their weeks, that would make sense. Yeah. And so for our top 10, we start with Fudov, skating in there with a 5-2 record. Thank you, Donkey. I appreciate it. Paijua? Someone's gonna have to.
I believe.
Payuha. Yeah. 6-2 record. And then number 8, we have Donkey himself with a 5-3 record. At 7, we have Halo at 4-2. At number 6, we have Super Fake with a 6-2 record. Followed at number 5 by Glista at a 5-3 record. Moving all the way up to the top 4, we have Gay Pirate at 5-1, an excellent season. I believe the only player who's played this much matches and only had one. Okay. Yeah, it's one of those things I don't know how to pronounce perfectly, unfortunately. Number 3, we have Izot at 6-2. Number 2, Mod is Hot at a 6-2 record, and there's a massive jump in points. As you can see on the screen, he has 7.80 or 7.81 rounded up. And then another massive jump for our number 1 PPR player, which is Gaboom, at 6-2 record with 8.67.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what these 8.67, what do these numbers mean? Don't worry about it. Marty makes it up.
They're
any random number generators?
They're all I'm sure it's it's formulaic and stuff.
If you weren't on the list, don't worry. I'm sure you'll be there next season when the numbers get made up again.
Facts.
Factos.
So true.
But yeah, so shout outs to NHL, to Marty B, who puts together all of the spreadsheets that he uses to get these player power rankings with the formulas that he has set in place. It's overall a really good system. So yeah, we have done player power rankings for EU Pro, and we didn't do it earlier because I kind of just forgot and moved on. We have Legacy PPR to end the main section. So we've got one set of rigs done. Now let's get the other ones done. So for Legacy Series PPR, Draining Battle so kindly offered to read them off, so why don't you go ahead and start with our HMs?
Of course. We would never intentionally forget to mention Reed Bobson at 15th place with a 6-3 record, slightly outpaced by his teammate Totino's Pizza at a 5-4 record. Definitely better than him. Above that, in 13th is Lefty 2111 with a 7-2 destruction. But above that is Ridiculous Hat. Definitely not rigging the system with a 5 and 3. Big Money right above them with at 11th place, 6-3 record. Bach for Life is the first in the top 10 with a 7-2 record. And then two teammates side and side again. It is Koroden at 6-2 and Koto Mora at 7-2. Lotus Knight right above them at 6-1. And above that is Agent Peewee at 7-2. We talked about how Neji reversed his bad season from last season after having reversed his good season from the previous season. And then Agent Peewee did the exact same thing of good season, good season. Above that is German Shep, tied for MVP in Legacy at 8-1, but not in the top 4, where we get to Astral Frog, a 7-1 record. Followed by Roadrunner, 3rd place with a 7-1 record. And then Nails, another one of the MVPs at 8-1. And then a huge jump in the little point system there. 0.04 above him is Cheesy 10, also at 8-1.
Yeah. I will say, I am very surprised Isocles, who's in the chat, is not on the list. He had an outstanding Legacy season. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about the strength of opponents, and Isocles having to fight against 2 seeds, definitely not as good as.
But he's been fighting against like 3 seeds in other seasons recently, so he's been moving up. I think I went to the wrong. Yeah, I was gonna say I went to the wrong conference. So Isocles went 8-1 this season.
Yeah.
So I have no clue why he's not on the top, or he's not up there. Yeah, I have no clue. That's something I'll ask Marty about that. But yeah.
No, we needed to get Ridiculous Hat on this list for the 5 and 3.
No, I will ask Marty. I am actually genuinely curious.
Real and true.
Because 8-1 is something that I figured would be on the list. I knew you were doing really well. No, Hat is definitely a beast, for sure. But yeah, obviously this is our final PPR for Legacy of the season, same for EU Pro. So guess what? We're all done with PPR for the season. That is a whole segment that we get to cut out next week.
Woohoo!
Yeah, but
Let's go.
But from here we get to it's just playoffs from here, doing recaps of playoffs. I hope everyone is excited for them.
I'm excited to be back on next week after my team wins pro.
I assume we'll be having a pro
rope and cope it up.
I am sure that Neji or Owl will be on.
Wait, Neji, what was the score when our teams played in the regular season?
Let's go.
Had you considered we didn't prep, and we got into the 4 seed, and then when we prepped, we beat the undefeated team. Smart.
We smart.
But did that undefeated team have Dankus Dad on it? I didn't think so.
That's a good point.
They had top 4 worlds competitor McBanterface. Who did win that match? Who did win his
McBanter
match?
who?
Oh man. Rip and Kyle.
Player, Lucas DM Nask.
Oh true, Lucas, yeah. But he that was an OO player.
We're not subbing in Damon this week, so we have a better chance.
Yeah,
that is a good point.
It's gonna be a super. I mean, I think Pro Finals is gonna be excellent. Obviously, I know that you two are gonna pick your teams, but Chicken and Geranium. I guess we'll use this to see who you two think are gonna win in Pro Finals. Because I for one can be biased towards either team.
I am going to pick. I'm gonna go ahead and curse the clowns and say that they are going to win, and that Neji will finally beat the fraud allegations, and will finally win a championship without me and Shep there to carry him.
That is a good point. Facts.
So let's see. Ariana's moving down. I was trying to factor in that Ariana would face Neji, and that's a free loss for Neji. But no, it's Owl's facing Neji.
Yeah, Owl plays Neji.
Yeah, with Ariana probably getting a loss to Justin, it's really close. It's probably all down to Nails versus Dankestad again, and whether
that's like one of the first matches.
Yeah, whether Nails reverses the game 5 that he did the last time. I'm gonna give it to Rope and Cope slightly. I do think it goes all 5 matches though.
Nice. All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. We'll leave it with some good pro predictions, and we will come back next week. I'm guessing we're going to organize a pro champions interview. So, luckily I have the 2 captains here. So I will be in contact with whoever wins and see how many players will be joining us next week. But yeah, we'll have that, and then we'll have the week after that's going to be Hero Final, the Hero Finals, our Hero Champion celebration, as we have Hero Finals next week. Which Owl and I both hope we will be a part of, and we hope to face Neji. So
I'm gonna have to be on for the next 2 weeks. Well, at least Wild Winners interview is a different show, so I'm not on 3 weeks straight.
True. Yeah, you'll be on Thursday for that if you get there.
I'll just check with my team and make sure they're good to hop on the show next week when we win. Yeah.
Awesome. That's I love it. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you all for coming on the show with me. Appreciate all of you, and we're gonna close it out from here. We will see everyone next week for another episode of Hearthcenter, but until then, we will have the Challenger Series final tournament being live streamed tomorrow on the channel. I will be your op for that, and we will have casters. That's gonna be a great time, and we'll get to see who wins I guess it's the first season winner of Reborn Challenger Series. So, and then after that, we will have Wild and Out on Thursday, and then our match shows on the weekend. So tune in for all of that. We will see everyone next week. And stay safe and have a great night, everyone.